Bill Wilson here, Wilson Combat, and I'm here visiting with my old friend Ken Hackathorn. And this evening we're going to talk some about preferences for full-size 1911s as opposed to compact 1911s. Ken, I know you've always been a huge fan of a full-size 1911, and for years and years you kind of shied away from the more compact variation, especially anything smaller than a Commander. Lately, you've been kind of coming around to my way of thinking, because I've always been the, kind of the fan of the compact 1911. Tell me what's making you kind of gravitate that way.
Well, historically, after being in this business for like 40 some years, you see a lot. You see what happens out in the field, so to speak. And up until really pretty recently, the full-size 5-inch 1911 has historically been the most reliable package. And what a lot of people don't realize, one of the critical issues to this pistol, any recoil-operated pistol, is the slide, when it recoils back, you have to have enough dwell time that allows the spring in the magazine to position the next round up into the feed lips, so that when the slide starts forward, it can strip it reliably. Well, anytime you reduce mass, aka slide mass, and shorten the dwell time, you kind of create some problems. So I've said, based on what I've watched over the last, say 40 years, that typically full-size guns are more reliable than the compacts. I always said the cutoff point for me was the Commander. I like the Commander. I never, ever wanted to carry a gun shorter than Commander. And let's face it, it's got a shorter dwell time. And we've saw a lot of guns. You remember when Colt introduced the Officer's AZP? Seemed like a great idea. Everybody rushed out and got them. Well, let's be honest, they were not as reliable as the bigger guns. And then all the other vendors came out with guns that are super compact. Well, I've watched over, let's say, the last decade, and when you guys started building the really compact guns, you've kind of got a proclivity for them. And I'll be honest with you, I was like, whoa. And what I've noticed, particularly over probably the last 5 or 6 years, every time I shoot with you, you're always shooting a compact gun, and your guns worked. And I mean, a lot of people, not just me, I mean, Larry Vickers said, what's going on? Well, it's real obviously, you recognize that there's things that have to be done. And let's be honest, Bill, you didn't crack that code overnight.
No.
But you've managed to figure out what I need to do with a compact 1911 to make them as reliable as a full size. So while at one time I would never go below a Commander size gun, I have to admit now, I would be perfectly comfortable. As a matter of fact, I've got a gun like that's similar to yours, except, as a matter of fact, it's the EDC, doesn't have the rail. But quite honestly, I think it's amazingly reliable. And everybody shoots it, kind of falls in love with it. I've had numerous guys say, sell me this gun. I go, no, it's not for sale. It's my gun. I don't sell guns. But I think that if I were going to address a compact carry gun, boy, I wouldn't want to stray very far from what you've figured out.
Yeah, the reason that I've kind of got to shooting the compact so much was an eyesight issue, Ken. I mean, I found that
sight radius,
due to my my close in vision, getting worse and worse and worse, that I actually shot a gun with a shorter sight radius better, and so that's kind of what got me started shooting them. And of course, you know me, I can't stand a gun that doesn't work every single time. I mean, I'm just Ken, those guns are just not going to stay in my inventory any, and so therefore, I wanted to shoot that sight radius gun. I had personal reasons to figure out how to make these things work every single time. And we first cracked the code with the 45s, and then when we got into nines and shooting nines most of the time, and the nines are actually easier to get reliable, and they're actually more functionally reliable than the 45s are. And we'll discuss that in another segment as to how to get these short guns to run well on due to ammunition selection and things like that.
Well, one of the things I think a lot of people don't realize is if you take a full-size 1911 and you look at the length of the slide, mass-wise, there's a lot more steel. Mm-hmm. So when that gun fires, when that pistol fires and slide cycles, you've got a lot more mass coming back recoil-wise. Yeah. One of the benefits to the compact guns is you've got less slide mass, and plus it's working faster. So what a lot of people don't realize is, generally speaking, the perceived recoil even for the same caliber, is oftentimes less for this than it is for the full-size gun. And initially for me, that was a hard thing to adjust to, is how come this gun seems easier to shoot than the full-size? What's really basically the fact, not only is the cycle so fast, there's less mass moving backwards and forward.
Yeah, and you get back on target faster because the slide closes quicker.
Yeah, now, I'll be honest with you, Bill. I firmly believe that in the compact guns, and I've seen it repeatedly, I see guys shooting compact guns in 45. I think unless you have a really good firm grip on the gun, I mean, you really got to be aggressive grip-wise, that they can be harder to shoot control-wise. And I see people repeatedly. I saw a gentleman in this class we just had who was kind of struggling with that 45 compact gun, was kind of moving him around a bit. And I said to him, look, you know, I would never believe I'd be the guy saying you need to go from a 45 to a 9mm. But the reality is, I think for people who have those control issues, grip strength or hand size, whatever, you know, the 9mm compact, particularly with today's ammunition development, probably is a better choice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Overall, I think, you know, this gun now is probably on equal footing with this gun.
As far as reliability is concerned. Okay. Thanks for the visit, Ken.